Hello everyone, welcome to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque painting live on Thursday, May 27th at 7 p.m. Central Time. And tonight we are going to finish up our fairy house, our Be Happy, which we already did the house last week. And we are working on our two little girls, Ava and Eva. So we'll put those aside. And we have Ava and Eva right here. So welcome everyone and thanks for joining us tonight. So we were working on their hair. So if we look at our instructions that was in your box, I was kind of working on both of them at the same time because we were just using the colors that were in the brush. So let's see, our standing girl is Eva, and we dry brushed rust on her hair last time. And now we are going to dry brush orange peel very lightly. So I have my foil to put my paint on, and you can use your paper plate or styrofoam plate or your ceramic tile, whatever works for you. So I have orange peel or OS 438, orange peel OS 438, and acrylic stain. So we're doing non-fired techniques usually on Thursday nights. So I have my paper towel to brush out my brush on. I have a kind of a medium-sized brush. I'm going to use a size 5 round. This is a boar bristle brush, natural hair brush. And then I go into the corner of my orange peel and brush that out a little bit. And then we're going to just highlight a little bit by going across her little hair locks. And we don't want her to look like Carrot Top the clown, so we're just going to highlight it just a little bit. You kind of got to turn her different directions to get all the different little angles in. Courtney says it's a heat wave in here. We got the heat turned on because it's been a cold, wet, rainy day, almost like fall instead of summer coming, but it's only been in like the 40s today and lots of rain, so we're just giving her just a little bit of highlighting on her hair. You can do your fairies in any colors, whatever colors hair you want to do. I just kind of did the darker colors. So we got Ava done here. So Courtney's moving around. She's got the the heat turned off because she's hot. So we got her little hair highlighted. So we can set her aside. And let's look at our other girl and see what we do with her hair. So it's got the, what did we do? It looks like we have the black brown on it, and then we're going to just dry brush a little light brown on it. We did the black brown last week. I'm going to get just a little bit of light brown, and the light brown is Duncan OS 467 light brown. Duncan OS 467 light brown. I'm kind of going to try to move along on these guys so we can open up our next box. And actually, even though we're behind with this box, the mushroom will paint up really fast and we'll get caught up really quick here with the next box. And so we'll be showing our next box, and then which is our May box that we need to get started on. So we are kind of behind with painting, but that's okay. And then we'll also show you our June box, which we're going to have to give it a name. Courtney don't have a name for it yet. But it does have to do with a snail and a turtle, so if anybody's got a good name for a snail and a turtle. She did like a little sneak peek of a kind of a blurred picture. So there we have our light brown on there. And let's see, we did our garnet on our dresses, and then we did some royal fuchsia on our dresses. So we'll go back to our standing one now. And we are going to put a little bit of azalea on her waistline petals. So if you look, fuchsias usually have 2 rows of petals. This is one row and this is the other row. So we're going to actually put our azalea on that waistline. So we have our OS 559 azalea. OS 559 azalea. We'll get a drop of that. And I'm actually going to just use my brush that I had the light brown in. It'll work into the azalea, and I'm just brushing that out on my paper towel here. I have a flat size 3, just because it's kind of a small little area.
That's cute. June critters are in front.
So, Courtney's reading off some names you guys are giving us. Are you doing my tablet to put it up for me? She's working on it. So it sounds like you guys are coming up with some good names. So she'll be invoicing that probably on what, Tuesday, Wednesday-ish?
Yeah, I have no idea. It's a weird, like, is there 31st?
There's a 31st, yep. So now I actually kind of went on this one here, and that I shouldn't have done that. I should have stopped right here. This is that bottom one, so I'll go back and touch that one up with the fuchsia. So I just want this azalea on the top row of petals. And it's not a big deal. You can change it out if you want, but that's kind of not what I wanted. So I'm just lightly brushing those top petals to get them another shade of pink for our little flowered dress here. And then let me see our other little girl. What did we do with her? We'll kind of go back and forth here so we can get them done together. So we're going to do just a touch of azalea on her top part. So I got to see, grab the wrong one. So we'll do just a touch on here. Just kind of highlight that a little bit. So it's Memorial Weekend coming up. Everyone got plans. Looks like some people are already I ran into lots of campers and pontoons and boats and UTV trailers headed up north as I came to Courtney's today. So their weekend's starting early for some people. We will be at the classroom on Saturday from 10 to 4. So we are open this weekend on Saturday, again from 10 to 4, our usual hours. So if you're in town and you want to check us out, stop by. And if you want to paint, you can always send us a reservation so you know that we have room for you, because I have no idea how busy we will or won't be. So we have that done. Do a little more on here, and then I'm going to go back to my fuchsia and touch up her petal that I got messed up here, SS92 Royal Fuchsia from Mako, because I did her side petal with the azalea and I don't want that. So there's nothing wrong with making a mistake. You can always go back and fix things. So I'm just going to kind of let that petal stop right there at her feather or her wings and just go back and add the fuchsia to get it back to the darker color. So we got that kind of done. Alrighty, so then next is let's make sure we got both dresses done. So now our sitting girl, we have to get our grape and purple, and then we will do our lilac. And actually I have to do a little bit of white on this other one first. Let me see, that's Mako's stuff. Here's the way we're going to go to our OS 431 white, OS 431 white, and we just need a drop of that. And I'll use my same pink brush because that'll just give us a nice shading, gradual shading. And then we're just going to highlight our little petals on our standing girl here. I got to make sure I'm grabbing the right one. Just kind of highlight those edges just a little bit, real softly. Get that nice ombre faded look to the petals. And we'll come around the back and get the back ones a little bit. So we do have quite a bit of show and tell at the end here tonight. And let's see, we have our August and October molds are ordered. We've decided on our September molds. And then we have to figure out our November and December molds, then we'll have the year figured out. So we got that done. So next we're going to go to our grape and purple and lilac. So I have grape, and where's purple here? That's navy, lilac, and Courtney's got grape for me. That's purple. So we're going to start with grape. So we have OS453 grape. I'm going to give that a nice little shake. And we probably need a little bit more. So now we're going to do our sitting girl, which is Ava. And I'm actually going to go with my same pink brush because it's not that far off from the grape family. And I'll just work that in there and brush it out. Get it nice and dry. And now we're going to do her little dress on the bottom. Again, going across little petals so that we don't want to go with the crevices. We want to go across them so that it doesn't fill in. You kind of can change I'm going on the edge of the brush and I'm going along my petals on top so I don't get them all full of grape, so we don't have to touch them up, but if you have to, that's okay too. And we'll do a nice layer of the grape. And then we'll just work our way around and let that dry. And then we'll be able to come back and put another layer on. So the fuchsia and the fuchsia colored and purple colored fuchsias are called Dark Eyes is actually the name of it. It's one of my favorite ones, so that's why I went with the purple and the pink. And then Courtney likes purple, so that's why we went with this particular one. But fuchsias do come in other colors, pinks and whites. The only colors I haven't seen them in is probably the oranges and yellows. But all kinds of pinks and whites and reds, purples. They also come in different sizes. There's huge, extra large ones, and then there's kind of the regular size that's kind of the size of these guys, or girls. And then on top of that, there are some miniature ones that are maybe the size of a quarter. So it's a pretty interesting little plant. They can be touchy. They don't like the wind. They don't like to be moved usually, so if you can put them out of the wind and in some shade, maybe late afternoon sun, they usually do quite well. Fuchsia. That's what the little flowers are on their dresses. It's a fuchsia flower.
What's that hanging basket?
Yep, the one in the front of the house is fuchsia. A fuchsia. Yep, they're temperamental. That's what I was talking about. They have to. They don't like to be moved. They don't like to be in the wind.
What do they like?
And they don't like direct sunlight. So if you have like shade, like a lot of shade, kind of like under a overhang on a porch, they usually do good in those types of areas. The hummingbirds actually love them, so they're a good hummingbird plant. So just a little extra plant information there. They can be touchy, but basically they don't like the wind and they don't like to be moved. So if you can get those things taken care of, they'll do pretty good for you. And then probably don't overwater them either. So I need a little more grape so we can do the bottom, so that looks good.
They sound high maintenance.
Cordy says they sound high maintenance. Not really. I mean, the one in the front, I haven't even watered it since I got it.
More than nice.
And it's in the shade. It's kind of...
I could run over my hostas and daylilies and they would still...
Well, they're not like hostas and daylilies, that's for sure, but... So we're just dry brushing our bottom with our grape because we want our bottoms to look as good as the rest of it. Just kind of build it up, get a nice layer of color on there. You don't want to see the black through it, basically. Only in the black should only be showing through your crevices. For the shading, not really the actual flat surface of the petals really won't have much black coming through. The black is just down in your crevices, and that's your shading. So we're just going to keep going here and get one more layer on. So we have a nice layer of our grape on there. And I just work from the front around the back and back to the front. That way the front's drying while I'm on the back. I'm not doing big brush strokes so that I get it all over, but I do see I got purple on my hands, and now I have that on her hair, so we'll have to touch. You can go back and touch things like that up. Or if you get it on her pink dress, you can go back and touch it up. So we got that done. So our next color is purple. So we have our middle color, so I can show you. We have our dark color, which is grape, our middle tone of color, which is purple, and our light tone of color, which is lilac. So we have our dark, medium, and light. So you always want to think about that when you're picking colors for things, not to have everything the same tone of color. That way it doesn't get doesn't look boring and flat. If you have those multiple colors, it will have more dimension to it and more life to it. So I'm just working my purple, which is OS452, purple OS452 into my brush. And now I'm going to lightly brush across the petals here on the bottom part of her dress and lighten them up just a little bit. And we start on one side and we just work our way around. So what has everyone been up to this week? Everyone have their fairies and house all painted? Anyone working on their gnomes already?
I got May and all this stuff.
Huh?
I have May and everything in that June.
Oh.
Yeah.
Courtney's working on the posting for the June box, because I did bring everything today, and we'll be showing you guys that at the end. I have everything painted now. Let's see, yesterday we worked in the flower beds at the classroom, pulling weeds and digging out weeds. And
Any snakes?
there was one snake the day before, but it was just a little garter snake. Not really my thing to look for. I don't want to really see them. And then today we had mulch delivered, but we had rain, so we didn't get to mulch anything.
Mulch at the classroom?
Yep. The bed by the door is ready, and the bed by the garage, back of the garage, is ready. And then we went around by the back of the classroom. That's needs a little more work yet, but it's looking pretty good too. And then we got to come around to the front and kind of got to plan what we're going to do there to make cutting the grass easier. So we're going to be moving some stuff. But we'll be boxing boxes here shortly, so that'll have to wait probably. I'm just brushing our purple on here and giving us a nice layer of our purple, kind of our middle tone of color. Letting our black and our grape down in the crevices. You can see I just work around and around. I don't do one area until it's complete. That way it can dry and it won't look smeary. You just want to do several layers at a time instead of one area till it's complete. And then I'm brushing fairly lightly with my dry brush, and I'm using a size 3 flat. I can turn it on its side to get up in little areas if I need to, without getting the purple all over my little dress.
I'm just working on her Maybach. She's to the point of antiquing, but she wants to wait to see how you...
Okay. So we're going to dry brush our bottom a little bit with our lilac, or our purple, so that looks as good as the rest of it. Let's see, last Saturday we did a little Super Saturday thing for the 4-H kids. We had 23 of them, and that went really well. I had to leave early, but Casey took care of it and had everything ready for them. And we had from the younger, like the clover buds on up, so that was fun. They painted Yetis, and then they dry brushed them, so that was a good learning experience for them. So next is our highlighting color, which is going to be our lilac, OS450 lilac. And we just need a drop of that. We'll get a little drop of that. And we'll brush that out. Kind of work it up in our same dirty brush so we have that nice gradual change of color. And now we can just kind of highlight the tips of our little flowers with that. You can see how that, being a lighter tone, it makes those little petals pop, so they're not, if we would use the same tone of a purple, that's just another name of a purple, I don't know, whatever it could be, but if it's the same tone, it's going to just blend in and you're not going to see it. So because it's a lighter color, a lighter tone, it makes those little petals pop like the light is shining on them. So we'll just work our way right around that. around the little dress, I should say. And we'll get them a little more and brush it out. Let's see, what else? Today I came mammogram age. Make sure you go and get your mammograms. They're not that bad. Probably 10 minutes I was in and out. And after that I took a load of greenware to the classroom. And then I loaded up the stuff to bring to show you guys from the classroom. And then I went and had a haircut. And then I headed to Courtney's and I went to Menards and got cement blocks so we can put some more shelves up in the storage unit, because I've been moving molds from my living room and now there's no room for the pallets of clay to go, so I have to get that moved this weekend probably. Or they'll be calling me and saying, oh, he's coming tomorrow, and I'll say, oh, I don't have room, and that ain't gonna go over, so I'll probably be putting molds on shelves one of these 2 days just to get them out of the way. So we have our little dress all highlighted now. So our lighter lilac is mostly on the edges. So we got that done. So now our instructions say to touch up our skin areas because we got a little bit of pink and stuff on it. So we'll go back to our light brown. And I'm just going to grab a little brush. Probably my 0 or 1 here. And I have a 0. And I'm just going to go into my light brown and brush that out. And then I'm just going to touch up our skin where we have our dress colors on it. And you just go back and touch it up wherever it needs a little bit of touching. Just dry brush really lightly. So Cordy says we have a few that are waiting to antique. Can I show you on a piece of bisque? If you want to throw some paint on it and base coat it, I can. What color? What do you got, I guess?
Oh, I will get something.
Courtney's going to grab something so we can show you how to antique. So you guys can antique. But basically it's the same as the color wash. You make a 50-50 mixture, paint it on a 3x3 area, and take a damp sponge, and then you wipe it off on the highlighted areas. It's basically the same thing as color washing. It's just that it's done after the piece has been kind of painted out a little bit, or completely painted out. Okay, so we have that one touched up. And now we'll touch our other little girl up. So you probably have to do a little touch up where the hair got on her, hair color got on her hands, or her arm, I should say. And then where the dress color got on her arm. So you do want to go back and touch your pieces up if you need to. It just makes them look nice and neat. We have some hair color on her little face here, so we'll touch that up. So that just takes a second, and now she's looking all ready. But it looks a lot neater. Okay, so from there we are going to dry brush our wings gray. And let me read our other instructions to make sure I'm on this thing. Yep, dry brush the wings gray. So I need some gray here. So I have our OS 474 gray, and Courtney will be right back to write that down in the comments. But right now she's looking for a paste to base coat, so I guess we're going to have her painting here yet, you guys. Okay, so we're going to dry brush our leaves, or our wings, so I'm going to go with a little bit bigger brush. A 5 or an 8 would work. So we'll go with our 8, just because that's what I grabbed. Sure, you can do the little pumpkin, I guess. Paint it orange, or rust. Paint it rust. I want some rust. Courtney's painting, you guys. Courtney's painting. Alert, alert. Courtney's painting. She's going to paint a pumpkin rust. There's a nylon painting brush. I wish I could take a picture. Okay, so we're on our gray now, Courtney, our OS 474. And we're going to dry brush our wings. That might be a little bit too big of a brush to get next to the fairy, but since I have the paint in here, we will dry brush that out and switch to a littler one. Everybody says, yeah, take a picture. Yeah, I don't have a phone to take a picture because the phone is doing the recording for you guys.
What color?
I'm doing OS474 gray, dry brushing the wings. Well, you guys will get to see the pumpkin that she base coats then when we color wash it. Well, it's pretty easy. Don't do the stem, just do the pumpkin orange part. She's putting rust on a pumpkin so I can show you guys how to color wash it. But it's basically antique it is basically the same as color washing. So we're going to just dry brush our little wings here with gray, I'm sorry. And we'll go from one to the other. So now that went on really wet. I didn't dry brush that out because I'm talking too much. So I got to brush out my brush on the paper towel more. She's painting over there. I can hear the brush moving. And she's grumbling. She says it's been a while. It has.
It's been a year.
Probably a year, she says, since you base coated something.
Yeah, I think so. Been sneaking out of it.
Yep. Well, we got her painting tonight. No more sneaking out of it. Oh, they say to use your phone. Where's your phone,
dead.
Courtney?
It's dead.
She says it's dead. I don't believe her, you guys. I don't believe her. I think she's got to stick the pumpkin in here in the screen and do some painting, right? Yep, come on. Bring the pumpkin over here and bring it in the screen. Yep, and do some painting in the screen so they can see that you're painting. She's coming. I'm making her do it. Here she is. Nope, you got to brush. They want to see you brushing. There you go. That's how you base coat your pumpkin. You just brush it out. Okay, you need more paint. You're brushing too much.
Yeah, I'm getting out of this.
There we go. We got her painting on camera. How's that, you guys? There we go. You needed proof. You got the proof. Give her a thumbs up or a heart or something. Let her know you liked it so we can get her doing it again. Linda says we got to preserve the moment. Yep, we got it preserved. We got it recorded and live and everything. Let's get those thumbs up. Give her some hearts and thumbs up that she painted. Because she really don't like it. She's not kidding. I don't see no hearts coming. Where are they?
They're coming.
They're coming? All right, cool. So we got it, we did it, and we got it recorded. So I'm back to dry brushing our wings here, long as we're sidetracked now with Courtney painting.
I'll see everybody in a year.
Courtney says she'll see you guys in a year. She's going to have to paint before that. All right, so I'm just working my gray onto my little fairy wings here. And if you want your purple, the pearlescence to like really shine more and have more purpley look to it, don't do too much. I did them very gray. And then the white, I'm actually not going to do so much so that you can see that reflection, that pearlescence better on there. It works a little better with a little bit of dark coming through. So Dee says, but if she starts to like it, she won't ship as beautifully. She's not going to like it. No worries. She's the shipper. She's not going to take up painting anytime soon. She's only doing it because she has to, because you guys ask. Well, you guys have to come up with something to ask for her to paint every week now. Let's see, what can we come up with? Okay, so we got her pretty much done. So we're going to go to our gray on our other girl. I need to, oh, Linda, you got it. I got to forget something. There we go. Okay, so we're going to brush out our gray and get it on this little girl here. She can do it. She just don't like it.
No.
She doesn't get pleasure out of it.
No, not at all.
So
It's stressful.
she says it's stressful. It shouldn't be stressful because it is what it is. You don't worry about it. So we're just dry brushing our little fairy wings, going across the crevices, trying not to get it all over the hair and the face and I'm actually not going to do them as much as I did the other one so we can see the pearlescence. Yep, Cordy does a great job shipping, everyone. She really does. That's her specialty. She's got her specialty and I got mine, so kind of works perfect. So I'm just brushing out our gray and dry brushing our little fairy here. Still have to fix the hair on this one. But just brushing nice and light back and forth across our little crevices, building up the fairy wing color. The other ones I did not let a lot of black shine through, but this one these I'm probably going to do about 50% with the gray or 60% with the gray and then 40% with the black, just because I want the pearlescence to shine through a little bit more. With that black underneath there, it shines through better with the darker color. So there, I got that one a little heavy, so we'll have to go a little heavier. And then make sure you get your edges as well. We will come back and get the other wings here. So Linda says, did you get new tape? I had a hard time getting into the box. And actually, we did get new tape, didn't you, last time? Or is it the same brand?
I guess the same brand.
Oh, Cordy says it was the same brand.
That's the best tape.
She says it is really good tape.
Yeah.
It helps keep the pieces together and nice and secure, so.
It doesn't like some tape will not stick. Like it'll come undone.
Yeah. She says it sticks to itself really well, so the pieces are packed really good that way.
It's actually the best tape you can buy. It's the most expensive tape you can buy.
Cordy says it's the most expensive tape we can buy. It's the best stuff.
With the cheap stuff.
Because the cheap stuff, like it comes undone before it gets in the box. So we do buy the better tape for boxing. Yes, we try to keep our damages to a minimal, which we've been pretty lucky. The stepping stone was probably the worst, but the welcome rock, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, it wasn't terrible. But we had a few where we normally don't have any, so which is good because we're going on 2 years already. All right, so we have our gray on there. So now when I look at our directions, number 6, I put white, but I'm actually not going to put white on these because I want our pearlescence to show up a little more. But you can put white if you want, just to highlight them a little bit. So now we are going to go to our flower petals, and we need, let's see here. It'll look, because the other one has, let's do the shoes on the other one first, because then we can do the flower petals on all of them first, both of them together. So we are going to do our boots with avocado on Eva. So let's grab some avocado here. And it's OS 466 avocado. That way we can do our the flowers on both of them at the same time. So we'll get a little bit of avocado. Well, it's kind of got a different top on it. So what are the new bottles from that Mako bottled?
They're using
their tops? Okay. So let's see. I need a littler brush. Well, I guess I don't need too little. It's the feet. I'm kind of got a little beat up one here. This is a size 5 flat. And I need some paper towel. We're going to just go into the avocado and brush that out. This one's a little stubby, but it'll work. So we're going to just brush across on our little boots here. And you can go right over the flowers. Uh-oh, I think she dropped the pumpkin, you guys, but I think she caught it. Well, it would have just broke and you'd paint something else. Then you'd have to paint 2 things.
What do I do with the stem?
Just leave the stem, or you can paint it green. Paint it green. Yes, paint it green. Paint. So, and we got mushrooms back here I forgot about. Okay, so that's really wet. That's too wet. My brush is too wet. I'm actually going to wipe that right off. Since our piece has been dry, you can kind of wipe it off. And we're going to get our bottom. And we'll come back and get our front again. She's even painting 2 colors, you guys. We got her on green now. We'll come around to the back where our other flowers and mushroom is. Get right up to her dress underneath there. You probably could have done those in skin color too, but I kind of thought they were little boots, so that's why I kind of did them with green. So again, I got too much paint on there. It's kind of a stubby little brush.
You call it your beat up brush?
It is a beat up brush. There's not much left to it. But we'll get it, and we'll get the bottom here. Let's see, I poured 3 nativity sets this week. We had a request for nativity sets. We had Sharon working on the Easter eggs and made those into Santas. We have 2 other ladies that are making vases with crystal glaze on them for Christmas gifts, so they're kind of in the Christmas spirit already at the classroom. Our July box will be a Christmas themed thingy, and we're waiting for those molds to get here. So July box is going to kind of be a rush to get it poured and out, because the mold maker was backed up, and usually they're not backed up, but Starlight was backed up this time. So we're waiting for those to come, and then they'll have to dry, and those will dry pretty quick. They come a little bit drier than the Clay Magic ones usually do. So we're getting our avocado on our little boots here. So we'll be late getting that sample to you guys too to see, but it is Christmas in July theme, and it's also snowman theme, so it's a good little combination. I think you guys will like it. So just getting our things. So Denise says she forgets the bottoms all the time and has to go back. Yep. They kind of forget them at the shop too, but I always catch them and have them do them because they just look better to have them done. And it is when the kids go to 4-H, like it is a judging standard that they do check that the bottoms are done. So it is important to do your bottoms. And I'm
picking up the bottom of my piece.
Huh?
If anybody's picking up the
Oh, you got to do the bottom too. You have to do the bottom too, right, guys? She's got to do the bottom too, right? Yep, you got to do the bottom too. We got to train you right too. She says, oh boy. All right, so we got our little boots here all with our avocado. So they're looking pretty good. So let's see, we have the avocado on the boots, so that's it. So from there we are going to actually paint our little flower stems with our yellow. So I'm going to use a little liner brush, and I'm going to use our, let's see, which yellow did we use? Lemon peel. So I have lemon peel, Courtney, OS434 lemon peel. Now you have to multitask for me.
I don't know about that. I got a brush in one hand.
You got a brush in one hand and a pumpkin in the other. I don't know, you got to put it in your mouth probably. OS434 lemon peel. So we're not going to dry brush these guys, we're just going to paint them. And I'm just going to use my 20O liner, my Royal Majestic liner. And then we're just going to paint out our little daisies here.
How covered does this need to be? I mean,
you did a nice, no white through the rust. Probably takes 2 coats. So I think we probably should have dry brushed our mushrooms on this one first, but that's okay. We can touch them up now that the brush is in the yellow. So I'm just painting, lining out my little petals on here. On all our little flowers. And you could dry brush them if you wanted to, but I just thought it'd be easier to paint them out because they're so little. So let's see, we have a wedding. Is it next Saturday?
I got a wedding all the time.
So I actually stopped at Kohl's to buy some clothes, but that's a sad sight in there. There's like
Terrible.
no size 14 of anything, not even underwear hardly.
It's terrible.
So I did find a pair that fit, but they were too big, so I have to see if I can try them. Take a picture of the tag, and I'll see if I can order them online. But I suppose I can't wait too long to do that if they're going to get here in time.
Yeah. I gotta order them tomorrow.
Oh. Then the shoes, they're kind of sad too. They only had like size, like, I don't know, a little size 4 or like a size 10. I was like, nothing in between.
And they were better priced than Kohl's.
Well, I did get a pair from Kohl's. They were on sale because I figured I could wear them to the classroom, and they can't be too cheap or I'll have sore feet. So they were $44 on sale for $19, so that ain't bad. So I'm just painting out our little daisies here. Oh, and then I stopped at Hobby Lobby, and when you won't believe this, but they got Thanksgiving in 2 aisles. Pumpkins and, yep, there's Thanksgiving.
What's the colors? What colors?
Orange.
Just traditional?
Traditional pumpkin colors, yep. Pumpkins were painted, though, with truck scenes on them with the pickup trucks.
Oh, that could be cool.
Yeah. Just a traditional muted orange. But, like, the trucks were painted on the pumpkins. And then burlap ribbon. But, yep, there was 2 aisles of Thanksgiving. I couldn't believe it when I seen it. So I knew finding clothes was going to be a problem when I seen that. Like, they didn't even do Christmas in July or nothing. They already got Thanksgiving. Lots of be thankful, blessed. Lots of that stuff. But the 4th of July stuff wasn't on sale because I wanted a banner to put in front of on the front door. So I did buy a flag banner, bunting, I think they're called, for the front.
Thank you for answering questions.
Oh, Cordy says thanks for answering questions. She missed it because she's painting, you guys. She's almost done, she says. So we're just using our lemon peel, painting on our little daisies here, or whatever they are, our little flowers. And then I'm just using a little liner brush. So we will finish these guys up tonight. We will do our unboxing of our next box, which is our Fungus Among Us. And that'll paint up pretty quick, so we should get back on track with our timeline because we're a little over from our stepping stone box, yet we're still kind of playing catch up on, because those took longer to paint, so.
They took longer.
They took longer for everything, Courtney says. Yep, that's the truth. So I'm just getting 1 coat of our lemon peel on here, and then I'll go to our other little girl and do her. We'll just kind of paint out our little flowers here. We're just putting our lemon peel on. Courtney's over there painting her pumpkins.
Green on the orange.
So we can show you guys how to color wash if you're that far on the step. And the yellow will probably take 2 coats. So she's got quite a bit of yellow. She's got it in her hair here, and she's holding it, and on her boots. So let's see, I did see an announcement that the Dunkin' Sealers are back in stock. I think Glazers even has them. So they must have finally got those back into production. I'm not sure where we stand with paint production yet. I haven't heard anything. I don't know if the gray and the charcoal and ash are back on the shelf from the supplier yet or not. Hopefully, because those are a couple of my favorite colors, although we're not using those in the next box, so we're good. We're using lots of bright, happy colors. And then we're going to be doing a little, I was going to kind of want to do something with the mandala dots, but I thought that might be a little too much. But I did do a lot of dots, and I did some color swirling. So that'll kind of make up for it. And it's actually quite easy. It's very random, so it won't be hard at all. You won't need a pattern. Kind of with the mandala dots, you kind of need a pattern. So I just tried to make it as an easy beginner project with the dots, and then to make the snail and the turtle really colorful. So we'll show you those guys tonight too here at the end. So Cordy says we got a question from Lisa. She wants to see the fairy house with the snail. Hold on, we'll put her down so she can dry. So here is the fairy house. Here's the side with the snail. So can I see the fairy? I know it says dry brush it brown, but what parts? Oh, so the whole snail. And then I did, I think it was let's see, where is it here? I gotta go to the fairy house instructions. I don't know if it was peach or orange, and then white. Okay, where is it? Where are you, little snail? Okay, number 13, dry brush the snail light brown. So the whole snail is light brown. Then I dry brushed him with orange peel. And then using that same brush, I dry brushed him with white. So I kind of gave him a peachy color. So hopefully you can see that. Is it in the screen, Cordy? Because I can't tell on mine. Yeah, okay. I must be froze up over here. So I'll go now back to our girl. Yeah, my camera, it's froze up. Oh, so she doesn't have no daisies. Well, what the heck? She's got one in her hair, that's it. Well, that made that easier. So it's been a while since I painted these, so I don't remember. So we'll just paint her little daisy here in her hair. Huh?
I think I posted like close-up photos in the group and pinned them to the top.
So Courtney thinks she posted photos in the Brenda's Bisque box group.
And I pinned it to the top.
And pinned it to the top of some close-up pictures. We also talked about doing another group. That's the farmhouse group, kind of for people just coming to the farmhouse, what's going on, so it's not like flooding the Bisque box group, because it's kind of about two different things going on with the glaze stuff. And you can feel free to join it, though, if you want to know what's going on. There's nothing wrong with that.
So it's pinned to the top of the Bisque box group.
So the Brenda's Bisque box group, Courtney has pictures pinned to the top of close-ups of the, what do you got, the fairies in the house or what?
Yeah, April's box, and then I also put a link for the video playlist for all the videos that you're doing.
So she's got close-ups at the top of the page, or the group, I should say.
It's marked as an announcement.
Under announcements, and then she's also got the links to the videos on YouTube, right?
Yeah, people are having a hard time finding the videos.
Okay.
Like Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook's kind of been a challenge, yeah. Okay, so we're going to go back and touch up our little daisies here, because I can see through them. You don't want to see through them, because then it looks like it's not painted all the way, so we're just going to do that quick. And it just takes another layer. So she will be creating a group, probably call it the Farmhouse Classroom. Anyone can probably join it, but it's going to be more about what's going on at the classroom, like the glazing and clay and mosaic classes and that kind of stuff. So kind of for the local ladies more than anything, but anybody's welcome to join the group if you want to see what's going on there. Like, we're mulching the flower beds now and that kind of stuff that's really not Bisque box related, but you're still welcome to follow in that group too if you want. And that way, if we're going to be closed for a certain day or something, or there's any important messages about the classroom, it'll be on there. Maybe like classes, announcements and stuff. So just so there's like their own little group and it's not like lost in the Bisque box group, and people that don't care don't need, you don't need to see it if you don't want to. But if you want to, go ahead and join the group when she creates it. So we're just covering up our little daisies here, getting our second coat on them so they look nice. So Courtney says, how's that? So let's see. We got to give her an inspection. We have to look for fleas. Look at there. She's got the bottom done. Excellent job. Look at that. Great job. It is ready for color washing once it dries. So there we go. We got her painting a nice pumpkin. Good job. Oh, look at there. There goes those hearts and fingers up.
That's the first thing I've ever painted from start to finish.
Huh?
That's the first thing I've ever painted from start to finish.
She says that's the first thing she painted from start to finish. Maybe we have to have her color wash it too.
Oh, no, I'm good.
And I'll tell her how to color wash it, and she can sit in the chair and do the talking and color wash. She says she's passing on that, you guys. I'm trying. All right, so we got our girl with her yellow all covered up good, so there's no spots through. Now we'll get our other one. Get her little daisy all touched up here. You did a really good job. There's no globs or nothing. Right. See, you can do it.
But I literally get no joy from it.
No joy from it. She says she gets no joy from it. Man. Look at how good it looks. Doesn't it look good to you now? Like, ain't that great? Nope.
I mean, it ain't bad, but...
Okay, I'm going to wash out my brush. And we are going to, let's see here. What color goes in the middle? I'm looking. Flowers are yellow. Oh, then I did dry brush them with a little bit of pale yellow. So let's get some pale yellow, which is our OS433 pale yellow. Connie says put her in the chair. I think we should too. Show her that anybody can do it. Okay, pale yellow, what are you doing here?
See, Claire says she loves to paint ceramics.
Huh?
Claire says she loves to paint ceramics.
Yeah, so do I. Party loves to play on the computer.
I do. I do.
She doesn't love to paint.
Give me a spreadsheet.
She says give her a spreadsheet. She's good. Okay, now I got a ton of pale yellow. I didn't need that much. Alright, I have a little brush here, a little size 0, and we're just going to get a little bit of our pale yellow. And we're just going to dry brush it a little bit. Just kind of take that really brightness off of it. Kind of highlight them. But if you can color wash, they know they can color wash. Because you're a non-painter. I think you got to do it. She's laughing at me, you guys. You don't need gloves? Oh boy. I bet you Jason's got gloves.
I'll probably charge you $1.
Oh, he's going to charge you $1? Oh boy. Well, I'd pay $1 to have you color wash.
Because his gloves that used to be $8 a box are like $36 a box.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So she says his gloves that used to be $8 a box are $36 a box. Because of COVID. Well, that just stinks.
Right?
So it looks like we could have put another coat of paint on our little daisies here, but we're just going to dry brush them so we can get done and get on to our next box. But you don't want to see the black through your petals, so if you need that extra coat, go ahead and do it. I'm just going to dry brush them so it's covered up, but ideally you want to have that extra coat.
Dawn doesn't understand why I don't like to paint either.
Yeah, she just don't. It ain't her thing. I get it. Just like
it causes me stress when I'm doing it.
She says it causes her stress when she's doing it.
It's the opposite of calming.
She's it's not her thing. I mean, I totally get it. Like, sports are not my thing, but it's her thing. So.
Like, I can't draw stick figures.
Well, you don't have to draw stick figures. You're just dry brushing.
I have no artistic.
All right, so we're gonna put a little bit of black brown in our centers. So let's get our black brown, which is OS473 black brown. And we just need a drop of that so we can put put it in our centers, and everybody's dried up here today. No, we didn't get to the eyes yet. I'm kind of jumping around here to do all the same colors at the same time. So we're just going to paint our center of our daisies here with our black brown. Just trying to speed up and do all the colors at one time. We didn't do the mushrooms on the back of the one little girl either yet, so we'll do that too. But I just want to make sure we get done with these tonight so we can move on, because the next box ships next week and we need to get our box started. But I don't want to skip doing something, so just trying to be more efficient with painting.
Doing it the Brenda way.
Doing it the Brenda way, yep. Instead of the step-by-step, I kind of paint them together when I'm actually painting them, and then I write down what I'm doing. Sometimes I miss a step, though, because I get involved in the painting and miss it. So we're going to wash out our brush, and now we're going to go to our, medium brown and do some centers. Well, actually light brown it says. Oh, where'd light brown go? So we're going to take a little bit of light brown, OS 467, and actually I got some light brown on there, so I'm just going to dip my little liner brush in there and do a little dotting. Now that one I'll have to touch up because it looks like I got brown on my petals, kind of rush here. So I'm just adding a little bit of highlight to the center of each flower by using the light brown, so they're not just flat and boring. And we'll get the one on here. And then we can wash that out. How are we doing on time?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, yeah. Gotta brush away here. So the mushrooms we would do with our medium brown, so we'll do that quick. OS 471. Medium brown, OS 471. Go with our, I have a size 3 here, round brush, and I'm just gonna dry brush our little mushrooms. You kind of got to be careful so you don't get your flowers in your little flower skirt, the dress part. On the bottom part here, you can just kind of go back and forth. It's a pretty big area, but by the dress, you got to be a little bit careful. So we'll kind of whip it on here so we can get through it tonight. Huh? Speed painting, yep. Let's get it on there and whip it on and be done with it. I keep going into the wrong brown pile. And we'll get the bottom again, so that looks nice. So you'll want to take a little more time than what I am, but I'm just trying to get us through this box here so we finish it up tonight and can do show and tell. So anybody got plans for the week, big holiday summer kickoff weekend? Anybody going camping, boating, fishing?
Box prep.
Cordy says box prep. Yep, that's what we'll be doing. I got a lot of greenware to get cleaned yet for the box. I have to pour 2 more times. Okay, so we have our medium brown on there. Now I'm going to go to our light brown OS 467. Light brown OS 467. I'm going to use my same dirty brush. I'm just go in there and work it out a little bit. Brush it out good. And then we are going to dry brush the, I gotta read here, where am I at? Just the tops of our little mushrooms, just to lighten them up a little bit. And let's get in the right color, so light brown. Gonna get our mushroom tops. Let's see, I'm also working on, they've been asking for more classes at the classroom. They want mushroom stained glass class, probably a butterfly stained glass class. And I think the butterfly will probably be the one that we do for the kit. Or else the mushroom that was in last year's box. So that's kind of on the back burner too going on. And then cleaning out my garage a little bit so I can get the pouring table out of the dining room. Alright, so we got that done. I see I have a little bit of yellow smeared on my green, so you just want to go and touch anything like that up.
Did you figure out my
No, I haven't been out there other than to put stuff in the garbage on Sunday night, so I've been throwing out stuff that I've been collecting that I really don't need. So I would touch up around her hair too with the rust, but we're not going to do that so we can get done here tonight. Touch up her little flower here where I got the brown on it. So you do want to just go back, use little brushes and touch things up. I want to get to the eyes so you guys can see that part of it because they are such little things. And we'll do the eyes before we do the wings even. So I need some black. So I have black OS 476. So the eyes are little. They are a little bit harder to do. You want a nice fine brush for that. Let me get some of this paint out of the way. We'll need some clean water and a sponge to do that color washing. This isn't clean. Oh, I mean, you want to just get a clean bowl of water. So we're going to paint our eyes. So I'm going to dip my brush in the water and add a drop of water to my black just so it flows a little easier off the brush for this little bitty area. Then I draw my brush through the paint to load it and kind of make a quarter turn and draw it towards me, and that puts a nice point on there, so that's really works for me. And now we are going to just paint the whole eye in with the black, and you can kind of see where the outline of the eye is. So we'll just kind of paint that in. And it's a 20-0 liner that I'm using. I think we carry these. Courtney tried ordering. The one came in, the monogram one, and then the other one was just the liner, and I'm not sure. One only 3 came, and one they all came. So I'm not sure if this is the one that came in or not. Is this the brush that you got, or is this the one you only got 3 of? This is the one she said she only got 3 of. But just a good little liner.
Here's the one that I have.
So this is the one that Courtney has, and you guys may like this. This is the monogram liner. The bristles are a little bit shorter on it, and most people like that, but I do like it's the same 20-0 liner, it's just that the bristles are a little bit longer, so it holds more paint and you can paint a little further. That's why I like that one a little bit better. And once they have more, we'll get more.
Yeah, they don't have any right now. They have to be made at the factory.
Yep. So they're out of them yet, she said.
Like the factory is out of them.
Yep. So we'll just paint one set of eyes so we can get through everything here tonight. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'm trying to hold it up a little closer. So I'm just outlining the whole eye with the black. I rest my little finger on my piece. Some people don't like to do that, but I do like to anchor it. So I'm anchoring it, and excuse my hands, but I was pulling weeds and in the dirt yesterday, so they're not very pretty. So I just kind of make sure that they're both kind of the same size of eye, same roundness or ovalness to them. And now they look pretty good. It's all filled in. So I will wash out my brush. And from there we are going to go to white. And I do have a little bit of white on here, but that looks a little dry. So we're going to go to white OS 431. Get just a little drop. And again, I'm going to dip my brush in the water, and there's just a drop of water on there, and add that to my white. And that thins that out just a little bit, and that's just too little of a drop and too big of a drop of water, so I have to add a little more paint. You want it just a little bit thinner. You don't want it real thin, or it's going to bleed and run out.
Like anchoring your brush.
Yep, like inking it. So then I draw my brush through that white, and I'm turning it, and that puts a nice point on it. So now we're going to add our white, and I'm going to go from about 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, kind of in a pie shape in each corner. And I only worry about the outside of how big the black, how wide the black line is. I don't worry about the inside where the white is. I'm just worried about the outside where the black is. Because the eye color is going to cover up white that's not pretty. So we're just making sure that our black that's around the outside of the eye is nice and even. As far as the width of it, you don't want it real wide on one side and thin on the other side. So again,
Like the under eye.
the white part of the eye. So kind of like your eyeliner, that part of it is where the black is. Like the outline of the eye. And then you just kind of want them both the same thickness or thinness. So it doesn't matter how ugly the inner part of the white is, because we'll cover that up with our next color. It's the black that we're lining with the white that we're more worried about. And it might take a couple coats because the paint is thin just a little bit. So we got that. So then I actually used avocado, so they kind of have those hazel eyes. So it's OS 466 avocado. And we'll get a drop of that.
You ever had avocado?
I don't know if we ever used avocado.
What have you ever had?
Have I ever had an avocado? I don't like them. So I'm going to dip my brush in that water again and get a little bit of water and again thin that out so it's kind of inky but not too thin. Draw my brush through it so I can load up that liner. Turning it clockwise about a quarter turn. And that puts that point on there. So now we're going to worry about the white part of our eye. We want the where the green is with the white, we want to leave an equal amount of white from like 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. You kind of have like a pie slice in each corner. And then the inside where the green is, you don't worry so much about that because that will be covered up with the black when we come next. So I'm just going from about 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Kind of a pie in the corner. From side to side. So I want to have kind of the equal amount of white that the other eye has and have the white starting and stopping at the same like 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock area. So it doesn't matter how ugly that center is because that'll get touched up with the black. We're just worried about how much white is showing and where it's showing. So about right there is 9 o'clock and I come over here, kind of get that little pie shape up to 3 o'clock. So now I can look at them and I want to compare that the inside white starts and stops about the same area. This one looks like it could come down just a little bit more. And now this one has to come down a little bit more. So sometimes you're better off to just leave it alone too. So I'm probably more at 4 o'clock with the green. So you can see this one has a lot more green in it than this one, but that's okay. We're just worried about making that white area look nice. So now I'm going to wash out my brush and I'm going to go to my black. I just covered up my black with my foil. And now we can make our nice little pie-shaped green by covering it up with the black. And it might have did a little too much. It's probably less than 1/8 of an inch of green than white that are showing. And now we'll do the same on this side from 9 to 3. Hopefully you guys can see that pretty good. So now I want to look at it and then I can fill in the black where it's not covered. But I'm really more worried about how much green, that the green is equal on each side. And it looks pretty good actually. And then I can fill in my black wherever I need any more in the center part there. So she looks pretty good. So it's kind of equal, so it's like at 9 o'clock over here and 3 o'clock over here, 9 o'clock here and 3 o'clock here. So hopefully that makes sense. And then if you want, you can even add a couple eyelashes that go into the black and then just draw it out and give her maybe 3 little eyelashes, which I didn't do that on my samples, but we can do it on here. So I go into the black, kind of draw it out, and then lift as you're bringing it out. Kind of just do 3. So there we got some little eyelashes. There we go, we got that done. Let me see, then I did put a little white comma and X in each corner, so I'm going to wash out my brush, go back into my white. Hopefully it's not dried up here. So now you want to put your little highlights at the same side, either at 1 o'clock or 11 o'clock. If you put one at 11 and one at 1, she's going to look cross-eyed. So we're going to go at 1 o'clock and just do a little comma, starting in the black at 1 o'clock, and then kind of come down to the green, and you just kind of lift, touch and lift. And so now we have our little commas, and then I can come back and put a little dot right at the top. Hopefully you can see that. Just to give it a little highlight, a little pop. And if you have a little ball stylus, you can use that. Otherwise, you can just use your tip of your brush. And then if you're really, let's see, what's the right word? You really want to get into it, you can go and put a little X. And that's like way too much, so I would say don't do it. Now I'll have to go back and touch that up, but if you want, you can put a little tiny X in each corner for a little highlight too. But I'll have to go back and paint over that because I got too much in there. So I'll actually see if I can get it out with the paper towel here. So I actually have to go back. When you do that, you have to go back then and like touch it up. So you may, because they're so little, you wouldn't have to put that little X in that corner. But I just thought I'd kind of show you how to do it. And of course I got a big old white glob in there. So we'll let that dry, but we'll put it back in. So sometimes you end up touching up more than if you just leave it. Because these are such little eyes. Well, there we go. We got her kind of touched up. I'll actually just put a little white dot in that corner and call it good. And if your paint has too much water in it, it just runs, and that's what it just did. So we'll see if we can get a little drier area. And we'll just put a little dot there, just to get a little highlight. Okay, so I think we got that all done. This is a 20O Royal Majestic Mini Majestic liner. The other one that we have in stock is the same brush. It's just that it's the monogram liner and the bristles are shorter on it. And that's what most people prefer, is the short bristles. We only could get 3 of these when we ordered of the long bristle one, but we'll get it again once it's back in stock. But we do have the 20O monogram, which is the shorter one. Okay, so we got that done. So let's see. We can color wash blush onto her cheeks lightly. So if we can do that with, I usually like to use we can use our azalea. And actually I have azalea on there. So to color wash, I'm just going to take a little bit of pink and put it over here, dip my brush into the water, and thin that out so it's almost like watercolor that you can see through the pink on your paper or on your foil, so I can almost see through my pink now. Then I touch my brush on my paper towel, and now I can just wipe that on there real lightly, and I can build up my blush color on her cheek, so it's almost like a watercolor. Or if you have your chalk that we sent in one of your boxes last year, you can use the pink chalk too, but this is another way to do it, just by making your own little watercolor. and then it'll dry with a real nice light pink to it. But the paint is thinned out, and I did use the azalea. I just added water, and you can almost see through and see the foil, so that's kind of your own little watercolor that way. So we'll wash out our brush, and now I need my white iridescent. So where is that? So in your box, your extra for April was Mako's SS113 white iridescent. So there used to be paints that was called pearlescence, and this is a lot like that. So you can mix this in your paint, or you can put it on top of a painted piece. So we're going to put it on top of our fairies. So we'll get a little pile of that, and we're just going to do one of them so we can move on, because otherwise we're going to run out of time here tonight. Let's see, I need a painting brush. I'm going to use about a size 4 nylon painting brush. I'm going to, and when you use the nylon brush, you want to dip into your water first and then pat it on your paper towel. That conditions your brush so that the paint doesn't get up in your ferrule so much. So we're going to dip into our paint now, and you're just going to brush out the pearlescent wherever you want it. So I did put it right on the wings, kind of like we did on the fairy house on the bees. And it will dry, even though it's going on kind of white, it's going to dry real purpley, mother pearly looking. So hopefully you can see that. So we'll just brush that out on the wings. And you do want to brush it out. You don't want big old puddles of it. So you can use this on all kinds of stuff. Like it works nice on dragonflies. It works nice on frog eyes. The fairy wings. Just a nice, anything you want kind of pearly, you can put it on over the top of it, of your finished paint. So your little bottle will actually go quite a ways. It'll be good for Christmas stuff, good for angels, good for like angel wings. So hopefully you can see that kind of a reflective, mother of pearly, pink pearly look to it. So that's your white iridescent that we included in the box, the fairy box. So you just paint that on her wings. You can see there's quite a difference now between this one's more purpley pinky and this one's just plain old gray. And then you just let that dry. And then I sprayed mine with a matte sealer. I usually do people and animals with matte sealer, snowmen with like the satin sealer, or frogs. Anything you want to look kind of wettish, I use the satin sealer on. But usually for animals and people, I prefer the matte. We're just going to brush this on here real quick and brush it out. And then we can get to some show and tell stuff. We're just going to brush it on, brush it out. Like you don't want big puddles like I got there. And you do want to get the ends. And if you want to do a second coat and make it a little stronger, you can do that too. But I'm just using a nylon paintbrush. It's just another paint product, so it's kind of a tool to like give your pieces a little pizzazz. We'll brush that out, and then you can see that dries nice and clear. You get rid of that white, but you have even though it's white, you have that nice pearly, iridescent look to it. So I won't do both of them just so we can move along here tonight. So isn't she cute? So there we are, we washed it out. Then we had gemstones in our, so then she would get sealed with the matte sealer. And I don't know where my gemstones went. Any ideas, Courtney? We always lose them by the end of the box. So you did have little gemstones in your box, and those just get glued into the front of each of your fairies. I would touch up her little hair if you got paint anywheres, but now you can see the difference. The one in my right hand just has the gray, and she's kind of flat, but the one in my right hand has that white iridescent on it, and you can see it's really reflective and pretty cool looking. So that's our Mako product that we included in your fairy box. It was the SS113 white iridescent. And we do have that if you want to order more of it, or if you didn't get a box and you want to order it. But that is our Fairies, and then they are sealed with our Dunkin' Matte Sealer, which is aerosol spray. You could also use the brush-on sealer if you wanted. And then Courtney has our little baggie that was in your box. And inside that is your little extras that were in there. So you would have been your bottle. And then you also had the little gems to put on your Fairies in their little wings. So you can peel those off, and then I actually would use the E6000 so that they stay in there better. But these are just found like in the scrapbooking aisle, so if you want more of something like that. But I would glue them in with the E6000 or Elmer's glue or tacky glue. And then we just put those on each of their little fairy buttons or whatever they are. So that added a little bling to them. So that's where those guys are. So that finishes your box for April. We want to get moving here. So that is our fairy box with Ava and Eva. So this is what they look like. So you guys can finish yours up. And then we're going to move on for a little bit of show and tell here tonight. Quick, let me get rid of our paint so I don't have paint all over. The first thing I guess we will do is color wash, because some of you guys are wondering what color washing is when you're on to your Fungus Among Us box. So Courtney did base coat this little guy. She's got him with rust and probably Lexington green, I'm guessing. So she's got me some clean water and a sponge. And to color wash, do we have a color wash? Or not really?
No, I'm not sure.
That's okay, I'll just use a foil.
I can just grab a thing.
Courtney's going to get us a little container to put some color wash. So color wash you can make yourself. I usually do 50-50 paint to water. You can use any color that you want. Usually it's a darker color. Animals, I would use black or black brown. Spring and pastel-y stuff, I like to use the like the mocha brown. So Courtney gave me a little bit of water here, but that's a little too much because we don't have much to do. I usually mix up a whole container of it. So I just have maybe a tablespoon of water in there or less. And we'll add about a tablespoon of paint. And I'm just using black to make the color wash.
Could you show them like why you're doing it on the gnome?
So we're doing it on... Yep, so some of you guys are working on it ahead, so Courtney wants me to show you why we're showing this. So this is our next box, which is our May box, our Fungus Among Us. And he was painted out, and then he was color washed. And I don't have the directions because we were going to open up the box, but let me see what color we used. I'm going to grab one. I don't know if it was the black brown or the black. Looks like it was probably black. I'm guessing it was black, Courtney. So we have our mushroom and our mortise. So we are going to antique him with our black brown. So again, you can use any color that you want. You can use black. I like black for animals. I like black brown for animals. The black brown is what I use for these guys. Snowmen and penguins, I like blue, a navy blue, or a dark purple, or a teal. For these guys, I use the black brown so it's not as dark as the black. So I'm just going to put equal amount of paint to my water, about a tablespoon there. And then I'm going to mix that up. And I'll just use my handle here. So usually I have a whole batch of this mixed up. But this just kind of decided to do this real quick because we had questions about it. So this is your color wash or your antiquing solution. So now I'm going to take and paint about a 3x3 area on my pumpkin here. And we're just going to basically slop it on there. And I'm just using a nylon brush, painting it in nice. Then I'm going to take a synthetic sponge and wring it out in water. And you don't want to do the whole thing because it may dry too quickly on you, and then you'll have areas that won't wipe off. So I got it. When you have bubbles on there, you have too much water in your thing. So just like with the color washing, I'm wiping across my crevices. So if you want it darker,
What were you saying about the bubbles?
if you have bubbles when you're wiping with the sponge, it's too wet. You have to wring it out a little more. The sponge is too wet, yeah. So this guy's actually little enough, we could probably do like half of him. But like when I'm doing when you do your mortise guy, just do like 3 inches by 3 inches. And then I'm just going to wipe gently across. So that's basically you're antiquing it. You're getting the brown down in the crevices.
Does it like work better if it's been dry for like a full day?
Yeah, Cordy asked if it works better if it's been dry for a full day. It does, because she just base coated this guy. You could also use a cotton rag. That also works really nice. So it's just, you can use your color wash, but you're actually antiquing it, so you can see that it really dulls the color. It's not as quite a true of the rust color as what it was. That's why I usually don't antique very much, but you guys have been asking for that, so that's why we actually did that with the next box. And you want to make sure you get the bottom as well. Well, no, that's kind of rough. The sponge will work. So you just wipe it, and you can wipe a lot off. Well, actually, this is a little, or you can wipe more. You just want it nice and even. So I can turn my sponge, and I can get more or less off. So now I turned it, and it's turned into the area where it's has more. Do you have a piece of paper towel so I can? Here's this right here.
Oh, you have it right.
So here's a cotton t-shirt. I actually like a cotton t-shirt better. So you can kind of strip that over your finger and wipe it so they can see the brown is staying in the crevices. So this is antiquing, but I'm just using my color wash that I normally use for color washing. But you can use that for antiquing. There used to be products available, like a translucent antiquing, they called it, but Kimple has some, and Donna's has some. Let's see who else. Fashion Hues. I think Doc Holliday has some. I'm not sure that Mako or Duncan have any though. So I do want to wipe across my crevices. I don't want to wipe with them. Unless you have a spot that's like not wiping. And then if it gets too dry on you, you can dampen your little cotton cloth and then wipe again. So you're just letting a little bit of color, that black brown, down in your crevices of your gnome when you do it, and that's antiquing. So this was very popular probably in the, what would I say, the 80s? The 80s for sure. I don't know how far into the 90s, but so that was antique, and then usually you were done with your piece back then. But now they tend to dry brush over it a little bit to like bring that original color back, because like this is dull now compared to the original rust. It's not its true rust color and we have the brown down in those crevices. So that's what antiquing is. And that's what we did with this guy. But then, and that's what we're going to do when we start next week. But then I dry brushed over him again to bring back that true pureness of our colors, the brightness, because he looked dirty and grungy when he was antiqued. So you can see this looks kind of dullish. It's not the rich rust that it was. So that kind of antiquing kind of takes the true brightness of your color away. So that's how you would do his whole thing, but you would do like a 3x3 area. You don't want to do the whole thing because then it's going to get dry on you and you're not going to be able to wipe it. Another thing is, if you're working ahead and you're doing that, maybe start in the back so you get used to it. That way, if you won't mess up the whole front if you're having trouble with it, but it really shouldn't. It should go fine. So that is what the antiquing is that you guys asked about.
Can I do that
Nope, Cordy asked if we did it to the mushroom too. Nope, I think he was just base coated and dry brushed. Yep.
Do you have a question?
So Cordy says we have a question. What's the question, Courtney?
Lisa asked, do you know if they started making the porcelain spray sealer again?
So we have a question do I know if they started making the porcelain spray sealer again? I do not know. I know it had been discontinued already last year. I think there was regulations or something with that, but I'm not sure. It would be nice if they did make it because that's a really nice product. That was one of my favorites. So should we unbox our box so they can see what they're getting? Can you reach it for me or not? So you guys already have your May box, which is the Fungus Among Us.
You want to save it for next week?
No, let's do it tonight so they can see it. So this is your box. Would have come like this. It would have been wrapped up with a little quote on top. Then you get your contained package, which has your inventory sheet. If there are flyers, you get your Clay Magic flyers. The other companies, a lot of them don't have flyers anymore. If we can get the flyers, we do. We'll have to ask about Mako. I don't know if they have flyers. So for this box, it's for our Boris the mushroom and then our little mushroom. So you do get the Clay Magic flyer. Then on top of that, we have our instructions of how I painted him. So that is in the box as well. And then your extra for the May box is this spoolie tool, which it's just a great little tool for, I use it probably more on greenware, but you can clean out holes like in Christmas trees. You can get in little crevices. You can also use this to spatter with. So it's just a nice little handy tool, and that's the tool that you got in your May box. And that's called the double-sided spoolie. So there's two brushes, a bigger brush and a littler brush. So it's good for greenware cleaning. You could even, if you have a piece of bisque and there's dirt in there, you can get in there and kind of brush it out with that a little bit too, but you can also spatter with this guy too. Then in your box you have two packages. One is your Boris the gnome and he's all labeled, and the other one is your mushroom. And that contains your bisque that was in the box. And as you can see, Courtney wraps them up really well so they don't have any breakage. So we'll get that all open quick so you guys can see. And then we'll get on to our box that we're shipping next week. So you guys can see that. So here's our Boris the gnome, our bisque. And then we also have our mushroom. So you guys already have this. I think if anyone, we probably have a few boxes yet. You can go on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque.com if you want to purchase one yet. Or if you're local, you can let us know. And then we have our mushroom. So that's what we will be painting next week. And then we also had Boris, or Morty with the moral mushrooms, and Poppy the sitting guy, which he could sit on a little piece of wood or on a ledge. And then we also have Hannah, and she's missing in action, so I don't have her to show you tonight, but we'll have to round her up. I'm not sure where she went, but she wasn't on the fireplace. But you could have added this bisque to your boxes as well. Huh? Slow down? Yeah. Courtney's telling slow down. I was trying to get through it here quick tonight. So, okay, Courtney's giving me the slow down.
Slow down here.
Okay, so this is Poppy, our mushroom gnome, and Morty, the mushroom gnome, and this was extra bisque you could have added to your box. And Hannah, I don't have handy. A few of you are getting her in your next box because we had more than we could ship in the last box. So if you want any of them, you can message us. And Courtney can try to fit it into your next box, which is our June box. So I have now to show you our June box, which I just painted yesterday. So we have our snail and our turtle. So this is our snail and our turtle for our June box. And they have lots of dots. So I was going to do a mandala pattern on our turtle, but I thought that might be a little too intricate and have to have a pattern. So these dots were actually done with a dowel, and you'll be getting a dowel in your box. So they're very random. It's very easy. I put the dowel down, and like I said, you will be getting that in your box, or you could use a big brush handle. So I have the two colors, like this one has orange and yellow. And when I put the dowel down, I do just a little twist, and that gives us that nice random marbling of each dot is really different, and they're random, so it's just a lot of dotting practice.
It looks complicated, but it's super easy.
So as Courtney says, it looks complicated, but it's super easy. For the little face, I did the black first, and then I came back with the green and yellow over the top after it was dried. But it's just a matter of touching your dowel down and just giving it a little twirl, and that gives us nice swirl of color. Same with our turtle. So he's got more of a little pattern. I kind of did more of a pattern on him. He's got the blue and the purple around, and then the orange and the green on the inside. But again, it's just taking our dowel that we're going to provide you guys, and we touch down with it and do just a little swirl, and then that gives all our different swirly colors that we got. Here we used purple and blue. Here I used orange and green. Over here I used purple and yellow on the black first. There's a little bit of dry brushing, but mainly they're painted out. Then his head was dry brushed a little bit, and the turtle shell was dry brushed from here up. It has the lemon peel here and the pale yellow there. Painted arms and toenails and went around them with black. So they're actually really simple. If you do want to put them outside, they're not glazed on the inside. You can put a tile and clay sealer on the inside if you actually want to put them outside, but they'd be good even in the house in a, like in a planter, because the house plants are in fashion right now. But they're nice and cheerful and happy and cute. Pretty easy. The snail's only dry brushed on the face and a little bit on here, but the rest is all dots, but we'll go through that, and it's all various size dots. You can see there's little ones and even smaller ones, and there's bigger ones. We got yellow ones and orange ones. So that is your box that we will be invoicing you for starting, I think, Wednesday. And then we'll be shipping after that the 5th, 6th, 7th, and probably the 8th. And then I also have the other pieces that you may want to add to the box. So we have this bisque. Courtney's not sure if she can get all 3 in the box.
Yeah, she just brought them.
Because I just brought them today. So we also have the frog. So this is the frog. And he's was done with the lime burst, and then dry brushed on his belly with the lemon peel. Did his toenails with orange. Again, did the dots. Did the black first, and then came back with our dowel and did the orange and yellow, and you just do that little twist, and so they're all different colors, so it's really cool. And then on the back I did turquoise and blue. Some are on top of the black base, and then some are not. So it just gives him lots of color, and he just looks really happy and bright. On the side, I did the black with the yellow, and then kind of a ziggy line, and then my watercolor with my orange as well. So that's the frog that you can add. Then we have the praying mantis bisque that you can add. He's done with the turquoise and bright blue. He had dry brushing on his head, and then kind of just some lines. The 3 dots I'm not real thrilled with on the back, but they're on there now. They kind of look old-fashioned to me, but he's still kind of cute. He's got purple on him. He's got little orange and yellow. And then we also have the worm, and I have a few less of him because I kind of forgot I had him, so he didn't get poured as many times as the frog and the praying mantis. But he's just bright and happy too. You can see he's got real colorful. I did pink and purple on him. Again, I did the black spots first. Had my fuchsia, my Mako fuchsia, and then my purple, and did my dowel down in that little spin, and that gives you that really nice, awesome swirling of color. It's super easy, you guys. Don't be like scared of it. It's very random. There's no pattern to it. I was going to do a mandala pattern, but I thought we'll start with something simple and just practice doing dots, and we have lots of dots. So hopefully you guys enjoy that, but that's your extra bisque you can add. Courtney says she's got prices. So the worm is 16 in bisque to add, and I do have a limited number of him. I think we'll have like 10 to 12 of him we can add. Then we have the praying mantis. He's 18 because he's bigger. And then we have the frog. And he's also 18. They're nice size pieces. And then this is your box pieces. You will be getting the snail and the turtle. And again, don't be afraid of it because it's a lot of dots, but it's actually very easy because it's very random. You really can't go right or wrong. It's super easy. You guys will have fun doing these, and they're like really bright and happy. So that is your box. And then hopefully I can lay these guys down here and you can kind of see them. Cordy, I think, has the post ready to go live on the Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, but that is the pieces.
No new colors.
No new colors. It's all colors I've reused, so that's great. Just bright, happy colors. And then they are sealed with the aerosol gloss sealer, so that is something new. We haven't used the gloss sealer before. But I kind of wanted these guys really bright and shiny and just fun and whimsical. So that is your June box that we will start invoicing for next week. If you want any of the extras, you can just message us. And then Courtney can add that to your invoice when she's doing that. So I think if you guys have any questions, you can let us know. Just send us a message.
So leave comments right now. I have them down, but if they're watching the replay, please send me a message.
So Courtney says if you're commenting now that you want extras, she will have you down. She's got you written down, but if you're watching the replay later, you will need to message us because it's hard to find those messages and those comments. Facebook doesn't always show us that now that the business pages are kind of updated and we're business pages, so we don't always get everything. But if you're watching now and you're commenting, you want the extra stuff, she'll have your name written down. Otherwise, just message us later. So that is your box for June that we can't wait to get out to you guys. And then July will be Christmas in July. So, and then after that is August, and we'll be doing something really special with gourds and a new mold company. We'll be getting molds from Mako. And this will be the extra in the June box. It's a stiff fan brush. I was going to spatter these guys, but I didn't want to, after I had all the dots on them, I didn't want to spatter them. But I will show you how to use the fan brush to spatter. So that's another tool. It's a Royal & Langnickel stiff fan brush. I tried to get the spattering tool that has the nail in it, but I called the company and they have discontinued making that. So we're going to learn how to spatter using the Royal & Langnickel stiff fan brush, and that is your extra in your June box as well. So you'll be getting the bisque and the fan brush. And the dowel to do the dots. We'll also provide the dowel to do the dots. The little dots, I used this ball stylus, and you guys did get that in a box last year. If you don't have the ball stylus, do you have some? Are we going to order some?
I couldn't get any.
Oh, we couldn't get any. You can use the tips of your brushes for different sizes for if you don't have ball styluses.
I'll check once.
Cordy will check before we order to see if she can get them, but they were out. I did notice that the Dollar Tree did have ball styluses for $1, so you could do that too if you didn't get that as your extra if you weren't a subscriber and get the set of 3 that we had as extra in the box last year, because I know some of you are new, so you may not have that. But otherwise, we'll just do you can just use the tips of your handles on your brushes. But for the big ones, you will be getting the dowel in your box to do that as an extra item. So that is your June box. I hope you guys are enjoying it. And we hope you enjoyed the class tonight. Sorry for the rush, but we wanted to get through our fairy box because we're a little bit behind. We should actually be finishing up our mushroom. But the mushroom and gnome will go quite quick. We'll get caught back up by the time our July box rolls around. And these guys actually went really quick too, even though there's a lot of dotting. And you could do whatever you want with them, but this is what we'll be painting it because that's what the sample is for. Cordy says she will post the color list in the Bisque box group, and again, there's no new colors. 10 total colors, so not a lot of colors, but they still are very colorful. So I think that's it for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed the night, and thanks for joining us. And give us some thumbs up and likes if you like your June box, so we know that it's stuff you like or don't like, so we know to plan for next year. Wanda wants to see the big blue guy, so that's the praying mantis. He's kind of my favorite.
He's big.
Although the frog is I kind of like the frog too, but then I kind of like the worm too. So,
They're cute.
I don't know, they're just cute and fun. So hopefully you guys think they're cute and fun and something different. So lots of dots and kind of outline their little face a little bit, but it's all just easy work. They're not hard. You'll be able to do it, and we'll do it right here online, and you can follow along. So we did the swirling with him with the dowel also. So they're all done the same. So that's about it, you guys. So thanks for joining us. Have a great Memorial weekend, and we will see you next Thursday at 7 Central Time. Thank you, everyone.